All right, now, hello. It is Food Fridays, and my name is Kelly, and this is I Bring It Every Day. And,
When does she bring
and
it?
thank you for this
Every
thing for my
day.
pizza.
How often
Trying to
does she
bring it.
bring it?
Let's see what
Every
happens.
day. Knitting, crafting, singing.
Okay, every day. All right, now. So, here is this is exciting because this is one of my favorite meals that I like to. I don't like to make it, but I do like to eat it. And one of my favorite meals is pizza. And we're gonna try an exotic. We're gonna do some plain, but we're also gonna try to do some exotic uh, cheesesteak pizza. Let's see what happens. But anyway, we're gonna. This is a favorite. I would say it's an all American meal. It's interesting. I think it has Italian roots, but pizza really is one of those things that everybody seems to reach for on a weekend, and it's a pretty quick, easy meal just to pick up. But I like to cook at home, and that's really the reason that I'm gonna go and try to walk you through some of the steps and what I do and what I buy, and to make your life a little bit easier while you're enjoying your pizza. Well, making your pizza. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I have going on here. So I have a little bit of flour in this little bowl here. It's a little hard to see, but I just, you basically have to, flour your hands, flour the bowl, and then roll this out. Because what I'm going to use is store-bought pizza dough. Now you can make your own, and that's great if you can do it. But in a pinch, if you're trying to speed up the process. Now this stuff comes frozen, and I excuse the crinkle, but it's very, very nicely made, and it's beautiful. And let me looking at the ingredients. Now this does have wheat flour, so you got to be aware of that. But the nice thing about this is it's pretty close to what you might buy in the or what you might get like at a pizzeria. And so there's flour. Yep, there's a little bit of let's see, water, yeast, salt, a little bit of oil, and a little bit of sugar. And that's what basically pizza dough is, at least to my knowledge. And they also show you on the back of here how to make calzones. Ooh, which I don't know if you know what that is, but that's usually just kind of a closed pizza. I call it a closed pizza, where it's a little bit of a kind of a little pie or pocket of pizza. Ooh, those are good. You can put whatever you want in those. And then also, this has a recipe for garlic knots, which I think I'm going to revisit that in a little bit. I mean, not today, but another time. We may do that. And this is great. Mmm. So anyway, so the nice thing about doing this pizza dough is that you can, if you're not good at baking, this will help you kind of get everything straight. So that's what we're going to do is we're going to roll out this pizza dough, and then I'm just going to just use your imagination. You could, and the thing is, if you make it at home, first of all, you know what's in there. Second of all, you can put whatever you want, how much you want, how little you want. It's amazing. So sort of that make it to order. I'm going to play around. There's some jalapenos. I do have some fresh ones, but I said, oh, I have these already in my pantry. I opened these. I mean, not in the pantry, but in the fridge. And these are good in a pinch. If you don't want to put your hands in those hot peppers, I'm going to put some peppers on there. One of the sauce that you can use, they have pizza sauce that you can actually buy from the store if you don't feel like making your own. But if you have these fresh tomatoes in the garden, basically all you need is tomatoes. You want to grind them up. You can sort of pulverize them, chop them up, put them on the stove, cook them to their, a soft consistency. Throw a little tablespoon of tomato paste in there to thicken it up. Put some garlic, lemon, oregano, basil. Bam, you're done. That's really sauce. Sauce is so easy. You can do that. Anybody can do that. But if you want to save time, you can use whatever spaghetti sauce you have in your pantry. And that's what I'm doing because I have one that's already open. We don't eat a whole lot of pasta anymore. So that's why I have a bit open. I'm going to use it. And then I found some olives. I'm going to play around with some olives. I love olives. So let's see what happens. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to do some, and I also have some, chopped tomatoes you can put on there. You can put fresh mozzarella. I'm using this garlic, and you see it's almost gone. I'm going to put some of that on there. And then we have bacon bits. We're gonna get real creative with this pizza. Got some bacon bits, and I did get some. Now the other thing that I'm playing around with, and we'll see. I'm trying to get this video down to an hour, but but I'm coming up. What I want to, I have a surprise at the end of the presentation, and this is an interesting pizza variation I'm going to try. So let's see what happens. I'm going to try to squeeze this in an hour. This is what you have to do when you record. And so anyway, we're going to have fun. We're going to roll this out and see what happens. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to roll. I got my gloves on. I'm just going to put a little bit of flour, and I have a little rolling board right here, a little board right here. And I'm just going to stick this over here. See if I can get this in the shot better. Yeah, back. It's got to be back here. There we go. Yes, got in the shot. And this is the pizza dough. I forgot to cut this, but I'm gonna do it right now. We're gonna roll this out. We're gonna knead it a little bit and roll it out and see how it goes. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see how this works. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna see what we can do in an hour. Because this is the thing. You want to do. It's Friday night. You worked all week. It's a nightmare. You just want to go home and just eat something. So the thing is, like I said, you have to defrost the dough. I'm doing that right now. You want to put a little bit of flour on it to knead it. So that's what I'm doing right now. A little bit of flour. So I'm just going to knead it just a little bit. And then we're going to start this whole pizza process. We'll see what happens here. And I'm just going to put it on a cookie sheet. But they have pizza stones and pizza. I'm not playing. I'm not playing with that today. But this is nice. And you see the texture is really nice on this dough. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to start with the plain, and then I'm going to roll this out. We're going to keep going. But you see, this is a gorgeous piece of dough. Now, I couldn't do this better myself. I mean, I'm not real good at dough, and most people aren't. It's hard to do that at home. And, you know, you need special flour. Like they use seminola flour to do pizza dough. Now, the other thing that you can use, too, is you can use French bread. A lot of people do that. Or you can use, they have these pre-made crusts that you get from the Dollar Tree. Now, I know they're full of preservatives, just to let you know, but they're nice. And in a pinch, you can just throw this in the oven and make a pizza in under an hour. So, actually under a half hour, really. It's just, I'm going to spend more time talking about it than actually doing it. But I'm going to roll this out, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end of the rolling. Okay, so I'm going to roll this. I'm rolling this out right now. And you know, what you want to do is sort of go in a circle. And I've got a little tiny work surface, so I'm going to play with this here. I have to do some creativity here for the space, but you just roll it. And you might want to put a little bit of flour on there. But I'm just sort of bringing it. What you want to do is go in like sort of like an X, in my opinion. If you go in like an X, what you do is you get a nice circular situation. And then usually what they do is they throw it in the air and they use their hands and they make that circular thing. So we'll see how this goes. Like I said, I didn't need this a whole lot because I hate to mess with good dough because the dough looks great. It really does. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's gorgeous. And I did nothing to this. So, and all I'm doing is just going in a, you know, like an X and bam. So there's that. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. I'll put my gloves back on here. And like I said, and usually what they do, I'm sticking a little bit here, but usually what they do is I need more flour. But you know, you want to flour it, and the flour keeps it from sticking. But usually what they do is they sort of put their hands around it like this, and then keep it in a circular motion. And I know these gloves are crinkling around here. But this is all you want to do is just get yourself a nice circular motion. And I'm just going to use my hands to pull it out. And I'm going to make a little bit of a, I don't know what you want to call it, sort of like a little valley in to catch the cheese or anything that may roll. This is all I'm doing is just making a nice circular motion here. But this is it. And this is, I didn't have to do anything. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's a nice circular shape. And then I'm just going to put a little valley there. And I'm making this medium. It's not going to be thick, but it's not going to be thin. I like a little bit of bite, and makes me happy. But anyway, I'm just doing this. But this is, so what did that take me? 3 minutes to make the dough there. So there it is. It's a little thick. Maybe I'll roll this out just a little bit more. thinner. And like I said, this is all up to your situation. But you can take a glass and fill it, and instead, if you don't have a rolling pin. But I'm telling you, rolling pins are great. There's nothing better than a good rolling pin. All right. So there's the dough. So I'm just gonna put it on there like that. It looks good. I don't think it's half bad. It's not perfect, but you know, I am a home cook. So there it is. All right. So I'm gonna go to the next step. And then what you want to do is just let that rest a little bit. But the next step is, you know, you're gonna put your sauce on, you're gonna put your toppings on, and you're gonna shove it in the oven. And that's it. So that's pizza. Pretty easy. All right. But anyway, I'm gonna go and come back, and I'm gonna show you the next step. All right. So I'm chopping some onions, and I'm gonna get this thing going. So I want to make sure. So I'm gonna throw. I found some pepperoni, so we're gonna throw that on there too. We're gonna do a little pepperoni. Yeah, we're gonna mess around. But like I said, this is whatever you want to do. I'm being really creative right now. And that's the whole thing with food. You just want to. So I'm just putting thin layer of sauce. You use a spoon like this, and you swirl it around. Leave a little edge there, so that it doesn't, you know, bake over or run over. But you got to make sure that you, in my opinion, I think you need more sauce than like a lot of times people want to make it really dry. I don't know. I like to have sauce on there, and I like a fair amount of cheese. I want to taste it. Yep. So this sauce is already seasoned. I mean, it's got like oh, what's in here? It's got a lot. So this is like a spaghetti sauce. It's got a little tomato basil. But if you feel, you know, if you want it a little more spicy, you know, you can throw some. Let's see, I love that. We're gonna throw some. Let's see. You can put some more garlic in there. So I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a little bit of it. Like you can do, you know, garlic powder. You can do oregano. Throw some more oregano in there. I'm gonna throw a little bit of the garlic here. I'm gonna throw a little bit of this in. Yeah, we're gonna live dangerously. So I'm just gonna put a few little garlic pieces on there, like that. Throw that on there. So, you know, just let your mind go wild. Okay, so now I'm going to throw the cheese. I'm going to put the cheese on. And so that's sort of the base. And then, like I said, you can add more. So I'm putting the mozzarella cheese here. And I'm just covering it as much as you can. I just like to have a lot. But that's just my thing. You know, I love mozzarella cheese. So I'm trying to be real. I'm going to try to be quick because I want this to represent, like, you know, it's Friday, you're hungry, right? You just want to make sure that everything is going. So look at that. We have one pizza done, basically. I mean, if you wanted to, you could stop. That would be your plane. Now, I'm going to go crazy, and let's see what happens. I'm just letting my mind go with this pizza. Put a little bit more here on the end. Like I said, I just like enough to cover the sauce. And I hate to not be able to taste the sauce. Like I like tomato, you know. So let's see what happens. All right, so we did that. So I got that in there. Put a little garlic on. So far we put the garlic. I'm gonna put the onion. So I'm gonna put some onion on there. And by the time it cooks, you know, the pizza ovens usually they're 400 or 500 degrees. They're hot. So I'm gonna put some onion on there. I put onion, garlic. Put the sauce. I'm going to put a couple of peppers just on one side. I don't want to kill anybody, but I think this might be good. And this will be sort of vegetarian-ish. I'm going to do half and half, actually. So I'm going to put a couple of these jalapenos on here, like that. And let's see what happens. Okay, so there's some jalapenos over there on that one side. You know, you can buy pepperoni. It's already cut up, you know, from any place. So this is really simple. I'm going to throw some pepperoni on here. We're going to live dangerously. Look at that. Pepperoni looks good. Just put some of that on there. Yeah, so this is going to be a sort of a multi-pizza here. What else do I have? I'm going to put a couple of olives on there too. I have to chop them up a little bit. But we're going to get this thing in the oven. Whoops. Get that out the shot there. Just going to grab one of these olives. And these are pitted, which means hopefully they took the pit out. Yeah, they did. So I'm just going to put a couple of these on. Yeah. So this is going to be kind of maybe a supreme. Yeah, supreme pizza. Yep, I'll put some of that on there. Now I could put more pepperoni on here, but I'm going to just go for it. I'm just trying a bunch of different stuff here. But let's do one more. Yeah, we'll just do one more. All right now. So we got it. So this looks good, right? So that's pizza. It took me, 3 minutes to do that. So that's not bad. So now we're just going to put it in the oven, and then we'll see how it, turns out at the end. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting a little flour on this. What I'm doing is putting a little flour on this, and I'm going to slide this off and hope that I don't cause mayhem onto the thing. Because the thing is, pizza does get it gets very sticky. So I just want to make sure that I have this on here like this. So I'm just going to slide this off, and hopefully I won't cause mayhem. But we'll see, because it's starting to stick, because it's starting to get warm. All right, so I'm going to slide this off. I hope it goes. And I don't know. It's like we're sticking. We are sticking. Yeah. We'll get that off of there. And hopefully it'll come off nice and easy. We'll put this on here. Okay. Yes. All right. So anyway, so I'll come back and I'll slide this off because it's not going to be pretty. But we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so there it is. I'm putting it in the oven. Whew, had to slide it off. Starting to get warm in here, so I just want to make sure it doesn't fall off of there. Yep. So a little editing, but it's good. Yeah. So I'm going to keep going. Now, one other thing that I'm going to work on right now is while we're waiting, because I'm going to say right now I've got it on about 400 degrees. I don't know the exact time to cook this, so we're going to just let it roll and see what happens. But anyway, so there's the pepperoni. So we got pepperoni. Oh, the other thing that I found is that there's some bacon bits. I don't know if you can see those in there, but you can use bacon bits. You can cut, you can cook the bacon. If you wanted some protein on there, you could have chicken. Actually, we made some extra chicken yesterday, and you can put chicken on there. Some chicken. It was like chicken thighs, and I had already heavily seasoned it. So that's another, chicken recipe that you can put on there. And yeah, so like I said, you just let your mind go wild with the pizza and see what you come up with. Yeah. All right. Now, what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to do a little interesting take on pizza. I'm going to have to cook this while we're waiting. We do have time. Like I just checked on the pizza. It's still going. It's probably been in there about 10 minutes. I think it's going to be done. So it's a little bit of marinade right here. I'm going to throw this on here. What I'm going to do is I'm just cutting a little bit of steak here. And I'm cutting it very, very thin. And this is, geez, I wish I remember what this was. This was like some cheap chuck steak. It was like $4.99 a pound. And it was a nice little thin slice. But what I'm doing is I'm just sort of, shredding it a little bit. And this is going to be for our cheesesteak pizza. I'm going to try this. And cheesesteak pizza is pretty simple. I mean, really, all I'm going to do is I'm going to cook up this steak while we're waiting. And then I'm going to throw it on top. Same thing with the cheese and the other stuff. A little bit of seasoning, a little bit of onions, a little bit of peppers. I'll throw some peppers on this one. And then we'll see how this comes out. So this should be interesting. So I'm trying these two different pizzas today. And then, but the main thing is I'm just going to show you really how to make the topping. And at least the way I like to make the topping. And so I'm just going to cut this, just keep cutting this, and we'll just keep talking. So this week I usually like to talk about, any kind of food recalls that came up. I didn't see anything new, which is good. So kudos. Like there's nothing out there, happening that's scary. But I'm using gloves. I'm just sort of cutting the pieces. This is actually too big. I'm going to see if I can get this just a little bit smaller. I did not bring my best knife to do this, but I'm going to do this as quick as I can. And once again, like I said, what I want to do is just see how quickly we can make a couple of pizzas, in an hour. And then, and then in the comments, just let me know what you think. And if there's anything you think, you might think of. Like I said, I just realized I also bought some Italian sausage. So I have that too. Now, I'm probably not going to make all these pizzas, but I'm just saying, I'm just giving you just some ideas. So like I said, we have the bacon. You can do a bacon pizza. We're going to do a little bit of a steak pizza. I'm going to do like a cheese steak, which we already, we're using the mozzarella. But I'm going to throw a little provolone on here too. Yeah. I might do a little mixture. See how this goes? And then if you're very blessed, fresh mozzarella on a pizza is really good. And I don't have any with me today, but I just thought about it as I'm making this really quick. But the thing is, fresh mozzarella is really tasty. And it's kind of, it's more white in color and it's a little bit more damp than the mozzarella that you find in the bags. But it has a very, very different taste. So that's another idea that you can do for a pizza. And the thing is, if you chop up all these different items and make them, you can, for your family, just pick all these different things, So right now I have my cast iron pan. It's heating in the oven with the pizza. I have it on the bottom. So I'm just going to throw this in. And then once I, chop this down a little bit, I'm just going to cook it. I'm going to throw some onion in there to cook with it. And then, we'll see how this goes. But pretty much what I'm doing is I'm using this marinade. You can use like a salad dressing, anything like that. But usually the marinade has some kind of a citrus in it. So there's like garlic, citrus, salt, pepper, that kind of thing. So, if you want to make your own marinade, that's what you do. So anyway, I'm just going to continue shredding this. And then when it's done, I'm just going to throw a little bit of the marinade in there with it. And then salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic. Then we're going to go from there. But this is going to be for the cheesesteak. And I'm probably don't need to make all of this because this pizza is very small. But this is more meat than we need. But we could actually make a cheesesteak. And if you have a nice Italian roll, you can just make a cheesesteak out of this. So I'm going to stop it there. But I'm going to put these pieces in here. Let me take that off. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put a little bit of, I'm going to use the garlic powder because it's just real quick. Garlic powder. But you can use, the fresh garlic. You can trim that, hopefully if you have a nice garden, you can do that. This is a little bit of seasoned salt, not too much. Just a little hint of that. Put a little bit on there. Just to give a little bit of flavor there. Then I'm just going to put a little bit of marinade. And I'm going to just throw this in the oven. So I'm just putting a little bit on here. I don't know if you can see that. Here we go. I just have it on the plate there. Just leave that on for a few minutes, and then we're going to throw it in the oven. So let's come back, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm putting a little bit of olive oil in here, just to keep it from, let's see what else I'm going to put in here. Just don't want it to stick. Let's see, let's put a little bit of, now, I'm not going to do the balsamic vinegar, but let's put a little olive oil in. I'm just putting the meat in. And you see the cast iron thing is hot. But anyway, putting that in there. And I'm just going to let that cook. And then we're just going to go from there. You know what I mean? But that's it. And I'm going to stick it back into the oven. All right. So I'm going to, let me get another knife here. Whoops. Almost, there we go. Gotta get another knife. And I'm just cutting this. I'm going to chop some onion and throwing that in with the cheesesteak. And this will be good. I'm putting big hunks in here. I'm going to chop it down a little bit more. And I'm just going to take this out of here. All right. Move that out the way. We'll toss this, and I'm just chopping up this onion. And that's all we're going to do. We're just chopping up the onion. And just got a new cutting board here. And we're going to have some big pieces of onion. And I'm going to throw a little bit of garlic. I threw some garlic in there, but I'm going to throw some more garlic in while it's cooking in the oven, and this will be good. And maybe I'll throw some peppers. I'll chop up some peppers too. But anyway, there's the onion looking good there. And I'm just going to throw it in the oven. Let's see, hopefully, can I reach in there? Oh, I'm going to have to bend over. But trust me, I'm throwing that in next. All right. So now we're going to pull the pizza out of the oven. So the first one is done. Woo, see what happens. Now, right now, I still have the meat going for the cheesesteak. But look at this pizza. This is hot. But there it is. It looks pretty good. So I put like a little pepperoni on this side. And then I should have gotten another glove. But anyway, there's a little bit of olives, a little bit of jalapeno peppers, things like that on that side. And the onions are cooked on there. So this is it. It's done. And I think that's pretty good. I'm going to like put this down for a second because it is warm. Oops, there we go. Get that out the way. But yeah, this is wonderful. And didn't take long. So right now I'm at 27 minutes in. So it's pretty much done. I'm just going to check the doneness. I guess I'll use a fork. I don't want to use my hand. I'm just going to check the doneness of the, oh yeah, it's perfect. And it's a nice consistency. It's like a little thick, but thin at the same time. Yeah. So there it is. Yeah, that's not bad. I think it's good. Let me check the bottom. I just want to check the bottom real quick. I'm going to take this off. Don't want those to melt. Let me just get under the bottom of this and we'll see. I usually don't know how to check when these are done, so I'm just sort of loosening this up. Because this did stick. And so I would definitely say, make sure you really flour the bottom. But I wasn't very aggressive with the flour. But yeah, there it is. It's coming loose. But you just want to make sure. Yep. Oh, yes, it's good. Let me just check the bottom. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I may even give it another couple of minutes. But you see this pizza looks delicious. You know what I mean? You can't beat that. That's home. So yes. So the bottom line is, you guys can do this. It's not that hard. And I'm an okay cook. I didn't go to school, but cooking school, but I just sort of know what I like. And I sort of that's how I sort of follow my life. So look at that. So this is the cheesesteak here, and it's pretty much done. I'm going to just turn it around a little bit more. But yeah, this is actually looking pretty good. Yeah. So let me turn him over, make him a little bit more well done. But these onions, and I might actually finish it under the broiler, but I'm going to cook it just a few more minutes. But you see the meat is basically done. And right now it's at a medium. If you want it well done, I'll put it in for a few more minutes, but it's basically done. And this is at 400. And I just put the whole oven on at 400. So it's pretty simple. But I always recommend, if you can, get these nice silicone gloves because it keeps the heat away from your skin. Now I have one of these. You guys have probably seen this from what store I'm talking about, the dollar store. So I got this, but it's so thin that I could feel the heat through the even with that little cookie sheet. I can feel the heat through it. So be careful. These are pretty, but they're very pretty, but they're not practical. I definitely recommend these, and I'll throw that in there. And like I said, with these tips, just use what you have. Try to use everything that you have in your pantry. This is a cheat. The cheese in a bag is a cheat. Just be careful that it doesn't have cellulose in it. And this one, thank God, does not. Woo! Because they do put that in there as a filler. And it's basically wood. And there's actually a combination of provolone and mozzarella in this one. And I'm going to throw some provolone on this one coming up for the cheesesteak part. But anyway, I'm going to roll out the dough. You saw me roll it out. It's pretty simple. But let me see how hot this counter is. It's pretty warm. But anyway, I'm going to have to take out the other pizza in just a second. But I think it's ready. Let me try one more time. And excuse the bending here. But I'm going to bend down. Oh, yeah, this looks good. Yeah, there it is. And the meat is still going. So I'm going to do the second pizza. And then that's going to be basically it. I think we're done. That's crazy. It's hot. But you see how pretty that is, right? So you can do this. Now, this isn't a huge pizza. So you need several of these pizza doughs. But hey, pretty simple. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to roll out the next one. We're going to, the cheese steak, we're going to do that one. And then that's going to be it. But very easy. Okay. So I'm just going to put this more flour on this. I'm doing the second one now. Let's see if I can push that back a little bit. But I'm using the second bag here. We're going to roll this out and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so I floured this. Hopefully it won't stick, but it's a little warm tonight and humid. So this is the thing that you reach, when you pull this out. But I'm just going to show you falling out of the bag there. That way you don't have to touch it. Yep, so there it is. And then I'm just going to put a glove on here. Uh-oh, I may have heated this one up a little bit too much. But I'm just going to, put my hand in. Let me grab another glove and I'll show you. Yeah, that one I actually put a hole in. So let me try another one. Okay. So I'm going to just pinch it out. I let it rest. So the thing is, you first, because these are frozen, you got to let them defrost. Really, ideally, you should let it rest before you start putting the toppings on. But, we're trying to keep this to 30 minutes. So we're going to see how this goes. And I'm putting a little bit of a thickness around the edge so it doesn't run off. This is going to be a little bit damp. So I'm going to have to somehow dry the meat out a little bit. But we'll see how it goes. All right. So there's the pizza crust there. Maybe just a little bit more. This one I didn't have to roll out as much. This one just really behaved much better. These were two different brands. And I'm just pulling it out into that round shape. But the thing about these they are a little smallish. So if you have a big family, you're going to need a bunch of these. Probably going to need 4. And I'd say this is like on the small side of a pizza. I think this is probably 12 inches. That's not real big. So there's that, just a little tip. And then what I'm going to do is I'm putting the sauce here. So you put that on, spread it around, and hopefully not too damp. Maybe I'll put some I don't know. Do I want to put tomatoes on here? That's going to be too wet. Because we're going to put the meat. See, if this didn't have the meat on there, I would just put that on. Okay. So there's the sauce. All right, I'm going to go grab some more. I'm going to put some provolone on this one. And then this will look good. But look how nice that looks. And then you can add a little extra oregano and basil if you want. Yeah. Okay. Putting some basil in here too. Just a little extra. And then you can throw some oregano in there if you want. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. So add a little bit more just for a little extra flavor. Okay. Let's get this cheese on. Now we're really going to get it straight here. Yep. I'm going to put a little more on here. I'm finishing the bag here. Okay, there's the cheese. Okay. All right now. I'm going to put a little more. This has to really hold this meat because this meat's going to be it's going to be a little wet. Hopefully not too wet, but just don't like the ends. I like to put the cheese, make sure the cheese gets on the end so it doesn't run. Yeah, because it does run. Because this spaghetti sauce is a little bit wet. Wetter than I would like it to be, but it is what it is. Okay. All right. I think that's good. All right, now I'm going to put a little bit of provolone on here. So I got some provolone slices. Hopefully this will be good. I don't know. Now you can take a whole slice. This is very, very cold, so it's going to tear. But I'm just going to put some provolone on there too with this. And I'm just going to try it. This is probably a little too cheesy for a lot of people, but what I want to just do is just catch some of that juices of the meat. So I'm just going to throw it on the ends like that. So I put like 2 pieces on here. And whoops, dropped a piece there. All right, I'm going to grab the meat. And then, whew, fingers crossed here. Hopefully it'll be. And let me just, I'm going to pause and grab that because it's very hot. So I have the meat, and it's very hot. I'll just show you what it looks like. But there's the meat right there. That's the cheese. That's the steak, I mean. Now we're just going to add the meat to the top. I'm just going to try to keep it as dry as possible. Now this won't have to cook long. I probably should have undercooked the meat a little bit, but this is what I'm doing. Just putting a little bit of, so we're going to have a cheesesteak. Other people call it steak and cheese. It's cheesesteak. It's a Philly delicacy, and got to call it what it is. It's a cheesesteak. So we're going to do a cheesesteak pizza. That piece may be too big, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's good. All right now. And I'm trying to keep this as dry as possible. But we'll see. And I got a lot of onions. So I'm putting a lot of onions on here. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we're going to throw this in the oven. Hopefully it won't take too long to cook. I probably should have cooked the meat a little less, but it is what it is. And I'm just going to season the meat just a little bit more because the meat is the kind of the, so I'm using just a mixed spice here. I'm just going to put a little more spice on the meat. So the last thing you want is some unflavored meat on there. Okay. So I'm going to stick this in the oven, and then we'll see what happens. And I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. I'm going to clean all this up here. All right, so I'm tasting the steak. It's very good. All right, and it's seasoned, has a nice flavor. So that's the main thing. You just want to make sure you taste it just to see how it's going. But I tasted a little piece of onion. It's very good. And it's hot. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. And clean up. So it's a good seasoning. And that's the thing with the cheesesteak. You just need to check the seasoning. So there it is. So I'm going to wait for it to come out the oven. And then we'll see how it ends up. And then I'll have Mr. I bring it taste a little piece. We'll see what happens. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to cut the plane. Mr. I bring it's going to taste it. The cheesesteak is almost done. So I'm just cutting it. Hopefully. We ate a big lunch, so he's only going to taste a little. Oh, I should have given you where the pepperoni is. We cut the piece here. And I'm just going to give him a little piece and see how this is.
I'll take those 2 pieces.
Oh, you want the 2 pieces?
I'll
Okay.
take those 2 pieces.
This one has yeah, I left this. I don't know if you want the one with the pepperoni. Okay. But anyway, so this is the pizza. It looks pretty good. And I'm just going to put it on the plate like this. Okay. But anyway, so there it is. There's the, hold on. There's the pizza. And so it looks pretty good, you know. And he'll have to tell me how it tastes. And then I'm going to check on the cheesesteak while he's doing that. And give us your, oh, wow. It's good. It's pretty good. Yeah, not bad for homemade. I mean, it's not perfect, but, you know, it tastes okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I really seasoned it. There's a little piece of pepperoni. It's good. But the pepperoni is good, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very fresh. I just got this today. So it's as fresh as you can get. But I'll show you the cheesesteak real quick. And now this is not done. But you can sort of get a feel for what it looks like. There it is. So it's still got a little ways to go. I'm just going to stick it in the oven there. But anyway, there it is. So I gave you 3 or 4 different pizzas that you can choose from. And it's very, very easy. And let me know if you try it and if you like it. And yeah. Oh, I should have put some of this steak seasoning on there. That would have been good. Next time. But actually, it turned out really good the way I seasoned it. So, you know, like, give it a try. And like I said, it's so easy to cook at home. So I'm going to go through our mantra at the I Bring It Every Day Food Friday show. So it's buy local, cook your own food at home. And, this way, you don't get old food. Your food is very, very fresh. You'll know where it comes from. So support those local farmers. And in turn, you are supporting your local economy. And, what's going on here? Stop that. I keep leaning on the stove. So those are the things that we want you to do. And then this way you take care of yourself and you live long, you live healthy and prosper, right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Mr. I Bring It likes the pizza. So that's a good sign. So the cheesesteak pizza, we'll try it. Like I said, we overate today. And so one of the things that you can do is when you overeat early in the day, like we ate a pretty big meal at about 11 and I'm actually not hungry either. And I can't believe right now it is 10 o'clock Eastern on Thursday, the 25th. So, yeah, that's very, very interesting. But you saw how fast the steak cooked. Like I said, I use my fancy cast iron pan. It doesn't have to be fancy. But this is, you can find these in any store. I actually saw one at Goodwill yesterday. It's $4. And it was a smaller one than this. But, you don't really need, unless you're, one or two people. This is a size, I think it's a 4 or a 6. I can't remember. This one doesn't have a marking on it. But I know that this one is Wagner. That's all I know. But anyway, it has the double pour spouts on the side there. But yeah, so the bottom line is, when you cook at home, you know what's going in your food. You know if somebody clean is making your food, which for me is like the biggest thing. And and like I said, whatever anything that I put in here, I know where it came from. All right. And like I said, try to shop from your pantry, so that you're not wasting food and things like that. And I basically everything I use today, other than the pepperoni and the steak, like basically the pepperoni and the steak, I bought it, but everything else came from the pantry. So there it is. And like I said, the biggest cheat is the dough. You can do that, but you can make your own. And I've made bread before on my channel. If you go back through, you'll see some dough. I'm making some dough there. And later on in the year, we'll be talking about some of the things that you can make bread-wise. And I have a bread maker recipe. If you have a bread maker or a mixer, it's very, very easy to do bread. And I like to do it that way so I don't have to put my hands in it. So that's it. But anyway, I'm gonna wait on the cheesesteak pizza, and we'll see how that one tastes. We'll take a little bite of that one, but we'll be right back. Okay, so the cheesesteak is still going. I'm gonna give it some time, but I just want to take this moment to thank all of the people that come to the I Bring It Every Day channel. It's been really interesting journey on YouTube. I really appreciate all the support, and I really enjoy the cooking, and I do this cooking, every Friday, well, just about every Friday at about 6 p.m. Eastern. I'll either upload or do a live cooking. And right now, like I said, we're doing the cheesesteak pizza. We finished the plain or the vegetable pizza, depending on what you did. I did a little bit of both on here. Just some veggies on this side. I did a little bit of pepperoni on that side, just for funsies. And then the cheesesteak pizza, because I do enjoy cheesesteak, I'm gonna try that here, and that's gonna take a little bit longer. I probably should have rolled it out a little bit thinner, but it's gonna take a minute. But while I'm here, I have a few minutes left. I just want to thank everybody for the support on the channel, and I just want to make sure that I get that out there. And I also want to say, I hope that we can all get along on the channel and kind of encourage each other to kind of look up, and that's really it. And sadly, I will say, on YouTube, it's been a little bit hairy. There's been a lot of really interesting relationships on YouTube where, people get together and they disappear and they, fight and argue and all these things. And I'm just hoping that, people can work out all this stuff, And so on the I Bring It Every Day channel, this is a safe space for anybody who, wants to come and sort of hang out. So I do some hangouts here and there. So look for those. And usually I pop up and just do them. I usually craft. So a lot of times I'm crocheting or knitting. So I'm working on some projects like that. And if anybody's interested in knitting and crocheting along, i.e., on a live stream, just contact me via the comment section of this video or Instagram. And Instagram under I Bring It Every Day, or Facebook Messenger I Bring It Every Day. So anyway, so those are some of the things that I do. And I meet up with my crochet groups, and I always encourage people to try to get together with people in the real world that are like-minded and, do a lot of your hobbies together, which is really cool. So, all right. So we still have some time. Just want to thank everybody. So don't forget, Mondays, I'm always going to do a little bit of motivation, whether it's going to be a short or a little live stream. And then Wednesday, I like to meet with my crochet group in my library. So I always recommend check out your local library. And then Fridays, I like to cook. So that's sort of what the I Bring It Every Day channel is about. I got to switch gloves because that one's too thin. And, and I've been enjoying, the experience on YouTube and just being able to share my love of cooking and crochet and knitting. So that's what I do. Oh boy, this is really hot. And it's not quite done, but it's almost there. But look at this. And this is well done. Yeah. So there's the cheesesteak. I don't know if you can see that. Let me grab the other glove. I'm just going to have to tilt this. I'm going to double up on this, but there it is. It's just about done. I'm going to leave it in just a little bit more, but I just want to sort of do the presentation. So this is a cheesesteak pizza that I did. And like I said, I threw in a little bit of provolone. So I'm just going to give that just a few more seconds because I think the crust could use just a little more tan. Whoops. So we're going to throw that in there. Just a few more seconds and we're go. But that's, basically it, you guys. So like I said, take care of yourselves. Eat as well as you can. Cooking at home is not hard. You just have to do a little bit of planning. And it's great. And so far, I think Mr. I Bring It and I have been really enjoying it. And we've tried, just like a lot of different things. And hopefully during the holidays, we're going to do sort of an extended, menu and just some things that you can think about. But that's sort of what we're looking forward to. So we're looking forward to the holidays. And but it's been a great summer. We've been trying to grow some things. And hopefully you'll see some stuff like that on my channel. I'll be adding some things like that. We also do some flea market runs. So we'll be doing that usually on a Sunday or a Wednesday. Just sort of depends on the weather and how we're feeling and all that stuff. But it's a good way to get out and get some exercise and just gawk at random stuff, which is what I like to do. But yeah, so there's that. And I'm trying to think what else. But yeah, the pizza's great. And I don't know. Let me know what you think. Yeah, we'll give it a try. I'm gonna try one more thing here. I'm gonna pull it out one more time. Well, let me check it. And I'm just gonna keep talking. But yeah, this does look good. I'm gonna turn this around as well, so the other side gets brown. Yes. And that's a little tip too. Sometimes, like I have my oven's like a medium oven. It's not fancy, but it's not a cheap oven. But I noticed that sometimes, depending on the top row or the lower row, it might brown a little faster, and one side might brown a little faster than the other. And so I'm always just keeping an eye out. But I think this might be pretty good. And I think if I was to do this again, I would probably cook the meat just a little less and then give it a try. Yeah. But anyway, I think I am going to take this out because I think it's almost done. And I'm just keeping track of the time. Still have 10 minutes. All right. So we're good. So I'm trying to think anything else. So that's really the evil plan. We're trying to eat a little better. Hopefully we're going to try to work out a little more. That's kind of on the bucket list. We're going to do that. And things like that. But like I said, I want to also shout out Drizzle Steak, who did my theme song. So I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate all the help with the channel from, there's many members on there who've really helped me out and stood by me through a lot. It's been 2 years since monetization. And, it's hard. You got to keep it coming, right? You got to bring it every day, right? So there's that, right? So let's see. I think I'm going to pull this out. Let me just pause, and then we'll keep going. And I just want to check it one more time, and then we'll see how it goes. All right, so I took this out the oven. I'm going to stop it right there and just show you what it looks like. But it's nice. It's got a nice brown crust there. It's not too brown. It's a little browner on this side toward me than in the front. But it has a nice crisp. I don't know if you can hear that, but I got the, you see. Yeah, it's got a nice little crisp, but it's done. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute because it is hot. And this one did not stick. Which is good. I was really concerned that it was going to stick, but it did well. But I'm going to stop it right there because I think we're good. And like I said, I would probably cook the meat a little less, but I think it's good. It's going to be well, it's well done. And but it's nice and steaky. Yeah, look at that. Just sort of touching it there. Really good. So that's it. So we did the pizzas. We did them at home. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. And it's amazing. Yes. So we really appreciate all the help on the channel. And I'm glad that you guys enjoy the cooking. And let's see. I just want to say thank you so much and much love. And let's see. I'm going to do one other thing here. Yes. And just say, you guys are super. Super. For sticking it out with me. I really appreciate it. Yes. And also, like I said, thank you to anybody who, has done some super chats. And Donia Stroke Talk just took care of me on my last live stream. So thank you so much. And I just want to make sure that I let you know you're super. All right. So let's see here. I want to do one more thing. Yeah, we got like 7 minutes. So I can't believe we're done. But I'm going to play out to my buddy Drizzle Stank, and let's see what can we do here. Here we go. I'm going to play him out. Let's see if he goes here. All right.
Every day. When does she bring it? Every day.
Let's try the pizza.
I bring it every day. Every day. I bring it every day. Every day. I bring it every day. Every day. I bring it every day. When does she bring it? Every day. How often does she bring it? Every day. Knitting, crafting, singing. Every day. When does she bring it? Every day. Cooking up something hot on Friday night. Come and stop by. I bring it every day. Every day.
Yes. And buy fresh, buy local, cook clean, and grow your own if you can. And thank you, Drizzle Stank. And kids. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Yes.
When does she bring it? Every day.
Okay.
How often does she bring it?
And thank you.
Every day. Knitting, crafting, singing, even crochet. Every day. When does she bring
And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's fun. Yeah.
I bring it every day. Every day. I bring it every day. Every day. I bring it every day. Every day. I bring it every day. When does she bring it? Every day. How often does she bring it? Every day. Knitting, crafting, singing. Every day. When does she bring it? Every day. Cooking up something hot on Friday night. Come and stop by. I bring it every day. Every day.
All right. In peace and love. Take care.